Dear 11th standard students, today we are going to see the important topic in kinematic lesson, motion in one dimension. Means motion of your body in one dimension. Before going to this topic, we know that if your body travel in space, position of your body at any instant of time can be described with the help of three Cartesian coordinate axes: x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. If a bird flying in the sky, example, if a bird flying in the sky, during its motion, position of a bird at any instant of time can be described with the help of three coordinate axes: x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. During its motion, x coordinate axis varies with respect to time, y coordinate axis varies with respect to time, z coordinate axis also varies with respect to time. So, if a bird, not only bird, if any object travel in space, position of an object at any instant of time during its motion can be described with the help of three coordinate axes. Three coordinate axis varies with respect to time. Next, motion of your body or motion in two dimension. If any one object traveling in a plane out of three coordinate axes, there are two coordinate axes varies with respect to time. That is called motion in two dimension. Next, motion in one dimension. If your object travel along a straight line, position of your body at any instant of time can be described with the help of only one coordinate axis. Here, only one coordinate axis varies with respect to time out of three coordinate axes. That is called motion in one dimension. See the motion in one dimension. Let me assume only one coordinate axis, x-axis. First we choose the origin. Positive x-axis. Origin O. Negative x-axis. Let me assume one object initially at rest position at a point O. At the time t is equal to 0, object is in rest position. This is object. Now that object moves along the straight line towards the positive x-axis. During its motion at that instant of time t1, see the position of the object from the origin x1. Next, during its motion of the object at that instant of time, position of the object at that instant of time t2, position of the object from the origin is x2. So, during its motion of the object, position of an object at any instant of time can be described with the help of only one coordinate axis, x-axis. Or, if your body traveling along the y-axis, position of your body can be continuously varies with respect to time only along the y-axis. If your body traveling along the z-axis, if your position of an object is continuously varies with respect to time along the z-axis only, then the object motion is said to be motion of an object in one dimension. Here, if your body initially at rest position at the origin at the time of t is equal to 0, body is at rest position. If your time is starts, body traveling along the positive x-axis along a straight line at that instant of time t1, position of an object from the origin x1, body is continuously moves towards the positive x-axis at that instant of time t2, position of the object from the origin x2. Now, we are going to see the another topic, average velocity. velocity v vector, which is equal to change in displacement divided by change in time interval, which is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by t2 minus t1. Average velocity of your body along a straight line is a vector quantity. So, average velocity of your body, which is equal to change in displacement divided by change in time interval, which is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by t2 minus t1. So, average velocity is a vector quantity. So, average velocity is a vector quantity both as magnitude and direction. If change in displacement is positive, that average velocity is a positive direction. Change in displacement is negative, our average velocity is in opposite direction. So motion of your body can be described in one dimension. We choose either positive direction or negative direction. Only there are two directions available. If your body traveling in one dimension, only one towards the positive x-axis, that average velocity is taken as positive. If your body is traveling in opposite direction, average velocity is taken as negative, depending upon the change in the displacement. If its change in displacement is positive, body moves towards a positive x-axis. Change in displacement is negative if your body traveling in opposite direction. It is called average velocity. So average velocity is a vector quantity, can be calculated with the expression change in displacement divided by change in time interval. Next we are going to see the another small topic, instantaneous velocity. So, instantaneous velocity is defined as velocity of your body at any instant of time is called instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity, which is equal to del x divided by del t, limit del t tends to 0, which is equal to dx divided by dt. It is called instantaneous velocity. How we can calculate the instantaneous velocity of your body in one dimension? If your body traveling in uniform motion, velocity of an object at any instant of time is the same that of average velocity. For example, if your body travels with an uniform velocity 5 km per hour, if a body travel along a positive x-axis with an uniform velocity 5 km per hour, it is the average velocity also 5 km per hour and also instantaneous velocity also 5 km per hour in this case. But generally instantaneous velocity, which is equal to limit of del t approaches 0, del x divided by del t, which is equal to first derivative of displacement with respect to time, is also called instantaneous velocity. Next, another one, we see one of the graphical representation. Displacement versus time graph. X represents the displacement. We plot the graph, time taken along the x-axis. Displacement taken along the y-axis. Origin of the graph. We get a straight line, which means displacement of your body increases with the constant rate, then only we get straight line starting from the origin. Let me assume 2 points on the straight line A, C. If a body traveling in one dimension, either x-axis or y-axis or z-axis, the body motion is said to be one-dimensional motion. We get a graph, displacement versus time graph. We get a straight line. At that instant of time t1, displacement of your body is x1. During its motion, at that instant of time t2, displacement x2. Now the difference in time interval is del t. The difference in displacement is del x. Taken this slope on this straight line, A point, B point, then C point. Slope which is equal to AB divided by BC. AB which is equal to change in displacement del x. Slope which is equal to AB which is equal to del x divided by BC which is equal to del t. So change in displacement divided by change in time interval which is equal to average velocity. Slope which is equal to change in displacement divided by change in time interval which is equal to velocity. So in the displacement versus time graph, we plot the graph. In the graph, taken the slope, that slope value gives velocity. So next one, velocity versus time graph. Graph 2. Velocity versus time graph. We plot the graph. Time taken along the x-axis. Velocity taken along the y-axis. Origin of the graph. We get a straight line. In this straight line gives velocity increases with a constant rate. That's why we get a straight line starting from the origin. Let me assume there are 2 points. On a straight line, point A, point C. During its motion of an object, at that instant of time t1, velocity of an object v1. So next, at that instant of time t2, velocity of an object is v2. So this is the difference in t2 minus t1 is change in time interval del t. The difference in velocity v2 minus v1 is called change in velocity del v. A point, B point, C point. In that velocity versus time graph, taken a slope which is equal to AB divided by BC. Slope which is equal to AB which is equivalent to change in velocity. Change in velocity divided by BC which is equivalent to change in time interval. So change in velocity divided by change in time interval which is equal to average acceleration. This is called average acceleration. In the velocity versus time graph, on the time graph taken a slope, in that slope value gives average acceleration or simply acceleration of an object. As the same that of in that velocity versus time graph, we get a straight line starting from the origin. We measure the area under this curve. This is the area. Area under this curve, it will give the displacement. Under the curve gives distance and displacement. So there are two things in velocity versus time graph. In that velocity versus time graph, in this graph, it's one of the graph. We get a straight line starting from the origin. On the straight line, we choose the 2 point, taken the slope. That slope value gives average acceleration, simply acceleration. And also, we measure the area under this curve. This is the area. In measuring the area under this curve, we get distance and also displacement in velocity versus time graph. Dear students, motion in one dimension, let me assume if a particle or if a body traveling along the only one coordinate axis, that position of an object varies with respect to time, only one coordinate axis, then the motion of your particle or your body is said to be motion in one dimension. Already you know about instantaneous velocity, or simply we called velocity of your body at that instant of time during its motion is called instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity can be expressed with the help of one expression which is equal to limit del t tends to approach 0 del x divided by del t, which is equal to dx divided by dt. So x is the position or displacement. The displacement varies with respect to time is called instantaneous velocity. So it gives the value velocity of your body at that instant of time. So from this equation, v is equal to dx divided by dt. So dx, which is equal to v dt, equation number 1. Equation 1, integrate on the both the sides. Take integration on both the sides. So dx, which is equal to integration v dt. So see, dx, position of an object initially x1 at that instant of time t1. Next, position of an object finally x2 at that instant of time t2. Here, displacement varies with respect to time. Equation number 2. So initially at the displacement x1 at the time of t1. Next, position of an object along the x-axis is continuously varies. At that instant of time t2, position of an object or displacement of an object is x2. So in the left hand side of the integration dx x1 x2, it will gives displacement. See the right hand side of the integration, t1 to t2 v dot dt. So here velocity of a body is varies with respect to time. Is the velocity is a function of time, which means velocity of your body along the one direction varies with respect to time. So from the time interval t1 to t2, velocity of your body varies with respect to time. This entire value gives area under the curve. So area under this curve, it will gives distance and displacement. So this entire term value gives area under the curve in the velocity versus time graph. Time taken along the x-axis, velocity taken along the y-axis. We get a curve like this. At the time of t1, see velocity v1. At the time of t2, velocity of an object is v2. We measure the area under this curve. We get distance and also displacement. Gives distance and displacement. So in the equation, integration lower limit x1 upper limit x2 dx, which is equal to integration lower limit t1 upper limit t2 v dot dt. So in the left hand side of equation gives the value displacement and distance in between the time interval t1 to t2. If a body traveling along the x-axis, how the distance covered by the particle or a body or displacement covered by a particle or a body in between the time interval t1 to t2, it will give the value displacement and also distance. But the right hand side of the equation t1 to t2 v dot dt, which is gives area under the curve in the velocities versus time graph. Area under this curve gives the value distance and also displacement. So main thing in that instantaneous velocity, velocity of your body along the only one direction, velocity at that instant during its motion, it is also called rate of change of displacement, simply is called instantaneous velocity. But the average velocity is something different. Change in velocity divided by change in time interval is called average velocity, but instantaneous velocity is velocity of your body at that instant of time. It can be calculated with the help of expression dx divided by dt, which is equal to limit of del t tends to 0 del x divided by del t. So dear students, see the motion in one dimension, velocity versus time graph. In the velocity versus time graph, see initially at the origin, velocity of the body is 0. Time increases from 0 second to 1 second. Velocity of your body increases with the constant rate. From first second to third second, velocity of your body remains constant. From third second to fourth second, velocity decreases with the constant rate. At the end of the fourth second, velocity of your body is 0. Then from fourth second to fifth second, velocity increases with the constant rate but in opposite direction, that is the negative y-axis. From fifth second to sixth second, velocity of your body remains constant. From sixth second to seventh second, velocity decreases with the constant rate. At the end of the seventh second, velocity of your body is 0. So in velocity versus time graph, area under this curve gives distance traveled by a body. So this is the area. From 0 second to 4th second, distance traveled by a body can be calculated by measuring the area under this curve. From 0 second to 4th second, it is called positive displacement. from the 4th second to 7th second, area under this curve gives displacement of your body from 4th second to 7th second by measuring the area under this curve. It is negative displacement. So if your body traveling along the positive x-axis, positive displacement. If your body traveling along the negative direction or negative x-axis, it is a negative displacement. So displacement is either positive or negative depending upon the velocity versus time graph. So dear students, next we are going to another important topic in kinematic lesson, relative velocity in one dimension and two dimension. First we are going to see about relative velocity in one dimension. So what is relative velocity? If a bus is traveling along a straight road with the 50 km per hour with respect to ground, it is called relative velocity of a bus with respect to ground. So position of a bus varies with respect to ground is called relative velocity. So simply, if a bus traveling along a straight road with the velocity 50 km per hour in only one direction with respect to ground is called relative velocity of the bus with respect to ground. But ground is rest position. If a bus is traveling along a straight line or straight road in one dimension is called relative velocity of the bus with respect to ground. So relative velocity in one dimension. Let me assume there are two objects. Object A, another one object B. Both the object traveling along a straight track with the velocity VA vector with the velocity VB vector. So see that both the object A and B traveling with that uniform velocities VA vector. Another B body is traveling with that uniform velocity VB vector, but both the body traveling with that uniform velocity with the different velocities along a straight road or along a straight track. So what is the relative velocity of the A object with respect to B object? C of A object with respect to B object. So relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA vector minus VB vector. So this is an important expression. There are two objects traveling along a straight track with then different uniform velocities VA vector and VB vector. So relative velocity of A object with respect to B object is equal to VA vector minus VB vector. In magnitude wise, relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA minus VB. Next, the same thing, relative velocity of B object with respect to A object. See one more time, both the object traveling along a straight line with the straight track with the different uniform velocities. We found relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA vector minus VB vector. In magnitude wise, relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA minus VB. Next, what is the relative velocity of B object with respect to A object? Relative velocity of B object with respect to A object, which is equal to VB vector minus VA vector. So in magnitude wise, relative velocity of B object with respect to A object, which is equal to VB minus VA. So from these two, in magnitude wise, relative velocity of one of the object with respect to object, in the first case, both the object traveling along a straight line with the different uniform velocity along the same direction, that's important. Relative velocity of one of the object with respect to another object in magnitude wise, which is equal to difference of magnitude of velocities of two bodies. That is a conclusion in first case. Keep it in your mind. There are two objects traveling along a straight road along the same direction with the different uniform velocities. Magnitude wise, relative velocity of one of the object with respect to the another object, which is equal to the difference of magnitude of velocity of two objects. In case 2, let me assume only one object A traveling along a straight track along this direction with an uniform velocity VA vector. Another object B traveling along a straight track with an uniform velocity VB vector, but both the objects are traveling in opposite direction with that straight line. How we can calculate the relative velocity of A object with respect to B object? It is a second case. Both the objects are traveling with the different uniform velocities along a straight road, but in opposite direction. Relative velocity of A object with respect to B object V vector AB, which is equal to VA vector minus VB vector. It is the relative velocity of A object with respect to B object in the same case, VA vector minus VB vector here also, but A object traveling towards the positive x-axis taken as a positive, B object traveling on the negative x-axis, that velocity direction is taken as negative. So therefore, VB is taken as negative. So relative velocity of A object with respect to B object is VA vector plus VB vector. In magnitude wise, relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA plus VB. Next one, A object traveling towards the positive x-axis, B object traveling towards the negative x-axis, relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, which is equal to VA vector plus VB vector. In magnitude wise, VA plus VB. Then what is the relative velocity of B object with respect to A object? B object with respect to A object. So relative velocity of B object with respect to A object. So VB vector minus VA vector. That is the formula from the first case. VB minus VA, relative velocity of B object with respect to A object. But B object traveling in negative x-axis taken as negative. So therefore, relative velocity of B object with respect to A object minus VB vector minus VA vector. So therefore, VB A, which is equal to minus taken commonly out VB plus VA. So this is relative velocity of B object with respect to A object, which is equal to minus of VB vector plus VA vector. In magnitude wise, which is equal to VB plus VA. So in the case 2, both objects traveling along a straight line in opposite direction with the different uniform velocities, relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, VA vector plus VB vector. Then relative velocity of B object with respect to A object is minus of VB vector plus VA vector. Commonly, in relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, that relative velocity direction is the same direction of A object In the second case, relative velocity of B object with respect to A object is negative, which means that the relative velocity direction in the case is opposite to the direction of VA vector. But finally we concluded, if both the object is traveling along a straight road in opposite direction, relative velocity of one of the object to the another object in magnitude wise, which is equal to sum of the magnitude of velocities of two objects. So I finished now. Relative velocity in one dimension. In first case, both the object is traveling along a same straight road along the straight line with the different uniform velocities, relative velocity of A object and the relative velocity of B object. In second case, both the object is traveling in same straight road but in traveling in opposite direction. The relative velocity of A object with respect to B object, then relative velocity of B object with respect to A object. Thank you.